So I know that a lot of people thought that they exploited Wendy for this documentary, but I actually think it's going to serve her well and her family in the long run. If you guys are new here, my name is Ashley, and this is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all things TV and movie related. Back to talk about the Where Is the Wendy Williams documentary that aired on Lifetime over the weekend. And you guys, part two actually had me more emotional than part one, like legitimately. And just to kind of start off the bat, with kind of my opening, I honestly do feel that this guardianship situation, this financial and health guardianship that Wendy had, it needed to be exposed for what it is. I think maybe for the family to get the resources that they need to fight. Because I don't know what the end in sight is for that, but it's clearly not serving Wendy, and it didn't for the longest. I mean, it took a year for her to get the inpatient care that she truly needed. Yeah, but anyway, you guys, let's get into it. I'm going to cover basically what they talked about during the second episode or second half of the series, because honestly, a lot of true colors were revealed. A lot of things that I didn't initially see in the beginning, I began to see in the second half. Now, first of all, Mr. Manager Will, why are we cussing Wendy out? Like, I get you're mad she went to California, but that really wasn't about Wendy. I mean, I know he said to Sean that, Wendy manipulated you, but I think that was a little bit about Sean, because really, Sean, and setting up meetings for her when you know that she's not equipped, prepared to even have a coherent conversation. Like what was her real motive? And again, I don't know her, right? We don't know her. We just know what we saw, but it definitely gave opportunistic. It did. Even in the car ride when Wendy is talking about, oh, I want to fire him, blah, blah, blah. And Sean is like, well, I could be. I mean, I do a lot of managerial things already. So that's your end game, right? And then the whole letting her drink and, Wendy knows her limits. She doesn't have a problem. I don't think anything's wrong with her health. It's like, what? You can't be living in this land of delusion. And the family speaks so strongly to that. Initially, I wasn't sure of the niece's response when she comes to visit Wendy and Sean is in the other room. She comes out and the niece is like, listen, I'm not doing this. I'm not sitting here with these people that are using my auntie and all that. And I was like, oh, that's a very strong reaction. And then as it played out, you kind of understood why she took that stance. So yeah, so basically Sean gets Wendy, flies her out to LA for a couple weeks, and Wendy was just reeling. And they said, even after she came back to New York, like, what's really going on, because she just wasn't the same. I guess she had been able to do whatever she wanted to for those couple weeks. So coming back to New York, it was like, okay, I'm going to get this deal. I'm going to do this. They had the meeting with NBC, the little, caption read, the NBC declined to comment on it, but no offers had come in, right? Because we knew. Again, the constant theme seems to be, in terms of what Wendy remembers and what she wants, it's down to the money and the liquor. Those are her focuses. Now, my feelings about the manager and Will, I just think, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, y'all. I had initial thoughts, because it does seem that he wanted to abide by the guardian and the family's wishes, right? But the guardian was clearly ineffective, and the family, I think Will could only do so much, and I think it was a bigger job for him than he intended. I think even the family kind of liked Will. I still just wonder if he and Wendy had something before. I don't think the man hopefully wouldn't do anything with her currently, but I do still wonder about the nature of their relationship prior to her decline. Now, and I love the family, you guys. And I think this is the part that broke me the most, was Wendy's interactions with her son, and then her dad, and then her brother, but mainly the son. Because at 22, I think he was 22 at the time of filming, to have your mom, but not, right? Like she's not dead, but she's also not who she was or who you know her to be. And you kind of have to be the parent. And at 22, I can't imagine wrapping my head around that, or wrapping my head around interacting with her, and she is in such a bad state of mind. Like, that had to be heartbreaking. And he played it close. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was just hard. Now, the one thing I didn't like or didn't understand, and maybe somebody can clarify it for me in the comments below, is when the family all went out to dinner, it seemed as though wine was ordered. And I don't know why we'd be drinking liquor around her when we know that she spazzes about her alcohol. But Wendy loves her father. She loves her brother. She loves her son. She really loves her son. And it was heartbreaking. Those interactions to me were probably the hardest to watch. Yeah, now let's get to this guardian. I don't know how in good conscience the court, the judge, could take away the power of attorney or the rights from a family who clearly, if the son was too young, if they felt like he was spending frivolously or too wildly, whatever. She has a whole sister. She's got a whole brother. She's got a father who's fairly, he's moving around really good and seems to have all of his faculties. I don't know how they couldn't choose someone in the family. And they are united in their desire to see Wendy win. From what we can tell, Wendy's sister says that during the process, initially, they were saying she needed to take a class, but that, they would consider her being guardian. And she was like, I'm fully ready for that. And she said it wasn't even about the money. I just wanted to be responsible for her care. They could have managed the finances. That was fine. And then it all of a sudden went to, from constant conversation to them kind of stonewalling her and not giving her access to any information. And then we saw everything that ensued after that. It's a flawed system. It doesn't work. I think that they need to revisit it. I think at the end of the documentary, they said that you can go back and every year it's reevaluated. Well, it needs to be reevaluated. And so I think that was the family's motivation. The son says in the first part, I'm only doing this because I think it'll help my mom. And I pray that it does. I pray that the right people watch this, the right people saw that, and they'll get her the help that she needs. So we know that after everything unraveled, after LA, after, locking herself in the apartment with bottles of liquor and all of the things, finally the guardian intervened and gets Wendy in an inpatient program, where she's at for months. And so eventually Wendy starts reaching back out to the family, and the family says she sounds more like herself. It shouldn't have taken all that. Wendy sold her beautiful apartment in the city. They sold it. And so now she'll hopefully have a one floor. And I hope she goes to Miami with the family. Honestly, that's my hope, is that she can be with her son and with her family and with the people who really love and care about her, and it'll help her, on this road to recovery, whatever that looks like. You know what I mean? They didn't really bring on any medical professionals, and I would have loved to see that and what it looks like, what life is going to look like for her going forward. I'd be really, really interested in that. And also, being that they said it was alcohol-induced dementia, what if she stops? Will she gain any of her memory back? Or will it just, stop the decline, or at least slow it down? That would be my major thing. Also, I would have loved to see see a glimpse of her out of the program, and how she's doing. Again, as far as helping or hurting her, I hope in the long run, like I said, that the right eyes see this and that she can truly move forward and get the help that she needs and stay sober and all of the things, and that the family can grow closer, because this had to be so hard. Had to be hard for everyone involved. Oh, and then before I go, the Angela scene when she comes to see her. I know it broke Angela down, but it was so beautiful to see that her come and just love on Wendy, especially seeing as Wendy, says, I have no friends. And what was really sad is that you saw the one friend, the lifelong friend, but I mean, all of those years in the industry, there was no one who's come around to check on her or visit her, or see about her. I don't know. That was kind of heartbreaking too. But you guys, that was it. Those are my thoughts on the second half of the Where Is Wendy Williams documentary. Drop it in the comments below. What did you think? What are your thoughts? Do you think it was strictly exploitation, or do you think that it'll serve her in the long run? Drop it below. And if you guys are still here, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.